Welcome. Today I will be paraphrasing, summarizing, and sharing for the March 26th Al-Anon readings, Encouraged to Change, and a Little Time for Myself. We'll begin with the Serenity Prayer and 3 mindful breaths. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. I will take a moment to look this over. The question is, in what ways do I contribute to Al-Anon's service today? And the passage begins with a person saying that they felt like attending meetings and working the steps just wasn't enough for them, so they talked to their sponsor, and their sponsor recommended service. So this person became their group rep because no one else wanted the job, and this person kind of felt like it was their meeting. Then they attended district meetings, workshops, assemblies, and realized after 2 years that it wasn't their meeting, but it was our meeting. And they felt really grateful for their whole group. And today they feel very engaged in their program, and it helps them to keep participating. Today's reminder: when we do service, we grow and learn and realize that we can make a difference. And the quote is from When I Got Busy, I Got Better. It says, without service, there's no fellowship. And the question, in what ways do I contribute to Al-Anon service today? Well, today I will be attending a meeting. I talk to my sponsees regularly, but I don't know if I will talk to them today. Same with my sponsor. I make these videos every day. To me, that's part of working my program. I don't know if it's really part of service. I'm not sure. But I know it helps me. It helps me focus on me. It also helps me feel like I'm working step 12. And maybe, well, that's probably it. But I was thinking, using what I learn in Al-Anon throughout my day, that's not really service, that's working my program. But in kind of an abstract way, it is kind of service because it's bringing Al-Anon principles into the rest of, into wherever I have contact outside of Al-Anon, which I think can only be good, but I don't know if that's technically service. But that's what I've got today as far as service goes. And I'm fortunate to be in a really thriving meeting where all the service positions are covered. So I don't feel pressure right now to do anything more as far as service positions. All right, I'm going to take a minute to look this over. This passage is about perfectionism. And it says, perfectionism, procrastination, and paralysis are 3 horrible effects of alcoholism upon this person's life. They don't want to do things badly, so they avoid doing them at all. But the only way we make progress is if we just do the thing. Today's reminder, Al-Anon encourages us to take risks and to see life as a continuing series of experiments where we continue to learn about living. The quote is from James Russell Lowell. It's talking about the weight of a single lovely action, saying that action is way more important than just sentiments. Even if they're beautiful sentiments, action is better. I think I'm pretty good at just starting something, but then again, it's hard to tell because what haven't I started because I think I can't do it right. But I remember when I was teaching, I felt like I had no choice. Like I had to just jump in and do it because whatever I was prepared for, I was prepared for. But I had to like teach my students the best I could. But that's not even specifically what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about like the technology piece of my job when I was a teacher. Like a lot of my colleagues would come to me and ask me for help, and I would just like jump into it and just I didn't think that I could, you know, break anything. So I would just click and just experiment until it worked. And it usually all worked out. And if I couldn't figure it out within a few minutes, because we never have a lot of time, we never had a lot of time. I don't teach anymore, but we never had a lot of time just to play around. Like we had things to do. So if I couldn't figure it out in a few minutes, we would contact our technology help desk and they would help us right away. So when I think of perfectionism, I think of all the times when I was working where, you know, my principal or a colleague or something would ask me to do something and I would just do it. I wouldn't procrastinate. And I'm thinking about now, I don't think it's a huge concern for me at this point. I don't think I'm a perfectionist. Probably because like I work to not be one because I've read so many books that say when I was a teacher too, like we didn't want our students to be perfectionists because um, it's almost like a form of uh, like not thinking you're good enough. It it can be a sign of other issues. So I knew from teaching and I knew from reading books outside of school just for myself that perfectionism is not actually a good character trait. It actually can be very detrimental. So I try not to be a perfectionist. I try to do things well, but I also try to have humility. And if it doesn't work out, I just say, well, at least I tried. And then I try to do better next time. And I also think that's much easier to do when things are, you know, not high stakes, not really high stakes. So that's my thought on that. We'll close out with the serenity prayer and 3 mindful breaths. Here we go. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Sending you love. Take care.